I think it's fantastic that we've got a Super Series next year. The tournament this year has been quite strong, and next year with the elevated prize money and the fact it's a Super Series, it'll only make the tournament that much stronger internationally and entice so many more better players to come out, and it's just going to be fantastic next year.
Sydney Olympic Park is a fantastic venue. We played the tournament earlier this year down there, and it's just everything's so compact and so easy to get to, and the area is just great.
Well, Australian badminton players Ross Smith and Robin Middleton there, looking ahead already to what is going to be an amazing event, the Australian Open next year, as it becomes a BWF World Super Series event with the prize money and the draw cards that go with it. But before then, it's the final of this year's Yonex Australian Badminton Open in the men's singles. It's an all-Chinese affair, and it's a huge surprise as well. Tian Houwei yesterday in the semi-finals, defeating world #1 from Malaysia, Lee Chong-wei, in 3 enthralling games. And up against him, if you think that's been impressive, his compatriot Song Sui has come through qualifying undefeated in Australia earlier this year in January. He won the Junior Australian Open. And here he is, after playing his way through qualifying, all the way in the final again. They've met plenty of seeds head on in their way this far, and they've swept all before them, Mark, as we see there the world ranking of Song Sui, not there, not seeded here.
It's a remarkable tournament. Both these players, they have produced some amazing play, taking out seeds all the way along their trip to the final. It's one of those things that China continually seems to be able to come up with new rising stars. I love the fact that they bring them out here to Australia to give them their experience on the world stage.
There is Song Sui, overcoming Australian opposition in the early stages in qualifying. And coming up, it is the blue ribbon event, the men's singles final. Well, these two are two others that have probably been training partners along the way, Mark, as well, and a huge moment for both of them. We can see here as well, no coaches for either.
Yes, as we saw in the men's doubles event, coaching staff will just leave it to the players to find their own way through their match.
David Schwerin, the Austrian, in the chair. Justin Zwar from New Zealand, the service judge.
Players ready to play.
Well, the stage is set here in front of a sold-out crowd in the Sydney Convention and Exhibition Centre. Over 300 athletes at the start of the week from 30 countries. And it's all come down to this moment in the 5 competitive draws. There is now 1 match remaining. And it is the one that the eyes of the world are on, and perhaps we're seeing a little window into the future of world badminton as well. 2 young men from China who have upstaged everyone in making it to the final. At the top of your screen, Tian Houwei there in the all-fluorescent orange. And then Song Sui at the bottom of your screen there in the orange and white. Game on.
Service over.
You've been
1
watching
love.
both these players throughout the week. Song Houwei, very confident shot maker. Tian Houwei loves to stay in the points, incredibly athletic, battles for everything. Both of them, incredible precision in their shot making as well.
Service over.
Pushing that long.
1
Yes, it's
all.
been an amazing week for both players. Really exceeded all expectations. Getting their way through to the final. Now the final hurdle for the championship.
Great power. We saw that yesterday from Tian Houwei.
2
Perhaps the biggest
1.
challenge for Tian Houwei is to pick himself up after defeating world number 1. It's not something that an unseeded world number 196 pulls off every day, let alone in the semi-final of a major tournament.
Good play there from Song Houwei. Had the momentum.
All.
It was good scrambling from Song Houwei.
Big exchange at the net. Tian now leads 3-2.
2.
When you have a big scalp like that early on in a tournament, and these two have racked up the scalps throughout as well, the likes of last year's runner-up Nguyen from Vietnam. Tofuk Hidiat as well has fallen at the hands of these young Chinese players. It's become something almost mundane about this week that these two seem destined to get here. But when you knock over the world number 1, can you then pick yourself up to play a young kid, even younger than you, from your homeland?
Well, you have to take the confidence from the fact that you've beaten the best in the world. But at the end of the day, it's another game. Whether it's the final or the first round of qualifying, essentially these two players could have met in the first or second round of qualifying and knocked each other. One of them would have knocked the other one out. So, you know, it's a big stage to be in the final, and it'll be who has the nerve to put their game together on the day.
You'd have to say it would have been one of the most high-quality qualifying matches you'd ever seen. Fantastic change of pace. Sweet.
Pinpoint accuracy there on the sideline.
4-3.
We saw that in his semi-final. His ability to just catch the inside of the line.
A little bit of a height advantage as well. His build is far more wiry than the compact Tian Houwei, who's not short by any stretch.
5-3.
First mini break goes the way of Song Houwei.
Service over.
Loses out that time. Tian Houwei will serve, handing the net. He's been a regular on the World Junior Championships the last 18 months or so. Song Houwei, 19 years of age. Great movement around the court from both players and such control.
Really was a feature of both semi-finals. You know, we kept expecting them for their speed and their control to drop off, or their level to slowly fade away. Both players maintained an incredible level of skill and just a standard of play. It saw their more favoured opponents fall by the wayside.
Much power from Houwei in the end.
6-5.
And that was a feature of his semi-final play as well, that surprising increase in speed with the racket. And just at the last second, increases the power and the speed of the racket head. Seems to add a few extra kilometres of pace to the shuttle, surprising his opponent. Called wide. Very close.
And
Serves
perhaps
over. 6.
the slice
7.
of fortune evens itself out over the course of a match. That evening itself out in the course of a couple of points. Tian to serve at 6-7. Impressive Tian Houwei's movement and court coverage.
7-all.
And his ability there to add the speed into the rally. Saw the lift coming. Houwei, and he moved quickly into position, smashing it down the line. Both these players have a lot of court speed, backed up by beautiful footwork.
It's so graceful around the court as well.
Serves over. 8-all.
One of his true weapons, that ability to leap into the back of the court.
Fantastic pictures again.
Serves over. 9-8.
Just misses wide.
Serves over.
Tian Houwei, 9-all.
9-all.
And already these two look very hard to separate.
Serves over.
Tian just possesses
10,
that
9.
incredible power. Houwei not able to get the racket in position quick enough.
sellout crowd on the edge of their seats here in Sydney, watching this men's final of the Australian Open 2013. Both players moving each other around, accelerating and slowing down the play, changing up the angles, asking real questions of their opponent. And we're all locked at 10-10. It's in.
11, 10.
And it's Song Houwei who leads into the interval in the first game of the men's singles final. Houwei leading 11 points to 10. The iconic Bondi Beach is known the world over. The massive kilometre-long golden sands of Sydney's most famous beach. And it is a fantastic series of beaches along there as well, the eastern suburbs of Sydney. Fantastic for a swim, a surf, the lifesavers are there. Or for sitting and just having a coffee and enjoying the view as well.
Play. Goal.
Again, that cross-court smash
12, 10.
from Song Houwei. Doing the damage. It's long from Tian Houwei.
13, 10.
The youngster who has come through qualifying and defeated in the third round Taufik Hidayat, the Indonesian, the number 6 seed. And then in the quarterfinals, Tian Yuan, last year's losing finalist who lost to Chinese number 1 that day, Jin Chen.
14, 10. 죄송.
Now has a 4-point lead. Quick exchange, lightning quick.
Service over.
That time, Tian Houwei comes out on top.
14.
Jumping up off 1 foot.
12, 14.
And the power in that smash. I said yesterday it was like a whip cracking, and you can really hear the difference in the sound of their smashes.
Service over. 15, 12.
Yeah, you can hear that almost hollow knocking on a door when they hit that flat, deep shuttle to the rear court, then that crack that has that real edge to it when they go for the smash. Oh. Just brilliant. Fine details.
16, 12.
Well, Tian Houwei did wonderfully well just to get that back.
Just to stay in the point. Oh, lightning quick.
Read Houwei's intentions like a book.
13-16.
This is going to be a long and entertaining match if it continues in this vein.
17-13.
Both players just being able to show case how they can stay in a rally, never giving anything away. Not quite in the right position for that smash.
Serve is over. 14-17.
A little impatient.
Play. Fifteen, 17.
Tian showing he's prepared to come forward, add some speed into the rally.
Brilliant. And the applause,
16,
very
17.
respectful applause as well from the crowd who know they're witnessing something just a little bit special here in the Australian Open.
What I love about the way both these players go about it is that they actually use their smash as just a play it back into the court type of shot. You know, they're using a big smash and they just move forward so easily. It's almost like it's a placement shot rather than most other players are using their, you know, their full-blooded smash as a weapon for a put away, rather than these guys are using it just as I'm just going to hit it back into the court. And they're so easy, they so easily move forward. Just goes to show how much training's gone into that skill and that ability and the strength in the legs to be able to do that.
That ability to follow up that athletic demand and effort and still know that you have to charge into the net to perhaps finish the point off. Tian Houwei is starting to work very hard to get these back every time from Song Hsui, who now leads 18-16.
18-16.
The chair umpire from Austria, David Schwerin, has the very best seat in the house at the moment. You can see in some of those slow motion replays, he's quite enjoying it up there. time from Song Houwei.
17-18.
Tian serving at 17-18. First game.
The umpire asking Song to stop walking around and get on with the game.
Oh, that's a rarity. A little miss hit from Song Houwei.
See here just how threatening Tian is, though. He's played the net shot and he's moving forward, anticipating a return net. He put Song Houwei on the back foot.
And not for long.
Both these players just have an amazing repertoire of shots. They can play from the back of the court, or they can play really flat and attack the front of the court just as easily. There's no weakness, identifiable weakness in any part of their game.
Great angle. And we are all square again. 19 all. Tian Houwei to serve.
Service over. 19 all. Play.
Pushed it wide. What a remarkable rally. 19 all in the first game, and a wry smile from Song Houwei.
Service over. 20. Game point.
Somehow managed to keep that one curling back in, but not at the update time of asking. Song Houwei, overall, slightly the more aggressive player in this first game. Tian Houwei. That doesn't mean he's been without his moments to go on the attack. It's now game point, though, for Song Houwei. Doesn't last long. All square at 20 apiece.
Service over. 20 all. Play.
Just long. That time it was Song Houwei looking to return the favour.
Service over.
Attacking the serve and get that cheap point back.
20.
Showing great confidence to really aggressively move forward there. Could have found himself well out of position. Instead, he's serving for the first game at 21-20.
That's long, and that is the first game. And what an intriguing encounter the men's final singles at the Australian Open is. Song Houwei taking the first game, 22-20. Well, Mark, it's been everything we hoped it would be, and then perhaps even a little bit more. The crowd, the sellout crowd here at the Sydney Convention and Exhibition Centre, being treated to an absolute gem of a final. We'll have a look at the highlights here.
And we saw Song Shui really be the aggressor in the majority of this game. Showing his ability to use the angles in the court. Very athletic. Take nothing away. Tian Houwei pushed him all the way through in the first game, and we can expect some fireworks in this second game. We saw in the semi-finals Song Shui lose the second game and go through a third set. It'll be interesting to see whether he can maintain his standard and his level of play. It's an amazing pick up there to take the first game.
Amazing judgment as well throughout. These two players are demanding absolute focus and concentration from their opponents every moment of this singles final.
Second game, level,
Game 2,
play.
a change of ends. The men's singles final of the Onyx Australian Badminton Open 2013. It's going to be whoever wins it, a new name on the trophy, and one of the most unexpected as well. At the start of the week, the big question on everyone's lips was who would finish second to world #1 from Malaysia, Lee Chong-wei. These two, apart from causing a raft of upsets along the way, are also showing here in the final that they deserve every moment of their time in the spotlight. That's missed wide.
2-1.
There it is again, that cross-court smash.
Service over.
It has been such a dangerous weapon.
Just gives no indication that he's going to the cross court till the very last second. The shuttle's already on its way.
And that keeps your opponent in two minds every time then. If you're going to head cross court or down the line that time. Moment's hesitation at the speed this shuttlecock is traveling. And we see it here in this moment.
And that was the change up, the previous one going cross court, that one going down the line at a different pace.
Keeps inviting it as well, Tian Houwei. And for the moment, Song Shui is saying thank you very much.
Just seems to know when to add the speed into his game. He's very conservative when he's not in good position. And then just when he sees an opening, quick as a flash, he's onto it.
Tian Houwei deciding time for a change of racket.
Chesson. 4-2, play.
There was a sense of anticipation around the crowd. We haven't seen too much of it from Tian Houwei, certainly not in this second game. It was there for the hitting.
It's definitely set up by the good net shot. It's very close to the net, forcing Houwei to lift the shuttle.
Four all.
Just finding the tape as they play a little bit of cat and mouse in close.
4. Six, 4.
Haven't really seen how good Houwei is at being at coming back. He's always been a bit of a front runner. Interesting to see how this one pans out.
Service over.
Gets a few points behind.
6.
Certainly doesn't seem to show much emotion in his play. Neither player, just a clenched fist. Nothing too verbalised, and certainly barely a sign of joy or disappointment if something goes against them. It is long well left by Tian Houwei.
Service over. 7-5.
That was very close. Seven, 5, Tian Houwei serving. And if he can get that extra point, it will, as you mentioned, Mark, be interesting to see how the hunter feels about
Service over. 6.
being hunted
7.
for a moment. It's wide and well wide in the
Service
end.
over. 8-6.
So difficult to lift into that particular corner with a slight drift in the stadium.
Nine, 6.
Very successful at staying in the net after playing a net shot and not allowing Houwei to take control.
And now he has the break. Tian Houwei
10-6.
and the crowd as well, just starting to get involved a bit. For the most part, the sellout crowd here has just been entranced with what they've been witnessing.
Service over.
And now as
10.
they become accustomed to the skill and pace, starting to choose their favourite. In this second game, Tian Houwei leads Song Shui 11-7 in this second game. Well, Mrs. Macquarie's chair down on the harbour. It has one of the fabulous views of the Opera House and the Sydney Harbour Bridge. The ferries and the pleasure boats touring past. A great place for all the tourists to get down, pick up their snaps. It's brilliant. Saving, keeping that point alive. Look at his movement around the court, Tian Houwei. In and out, the little touches, the subtlety and the power.
(11-7), play.
Tian Houwei to serve. Just
Service
caught
over.
unawares there by
8,
Song Shui.
11.
Every time he seems to beat his opponent in a short rally, immediately apologizes to his compatriot Tian Houwei. As though they're cheating if they don't exchange 20 shots each.
Service over.
Good hustle from Tian then.
12-8.
Saw an opportunity, just a little bit loose at the net.
It is consistency that has been the key to Tian Houwei's week here in Sydney at the Australian Badminton Open.
He was not in that point at all. Kept getting it back.
Service over. 9-12.
And then he unleashes his favourite weapon.
Tian Houwei also hasn't been afraid to set him up for that one as well, as often heading for that back right court.
I think if it was me, I'd be trying to avoid it as much as possible. It's not that easy. Been a feature of his game so far is his speed moving forward.
Service over. 13-9.
Sees the opportunity.
And he's just starting to lift the intensity a little bit as well now, Tian Houwei. Too high over the net. A gift at this stage of the final.
14-9.
Certainly not an ideal choice of shot. Someone who moves as quick as Tian Houwei. He's always looking to come forward to the net.
Play.
It's pressuring the mistake. And Tian Houwei closes back to a 4-point game.
Service over. 10-14.
Any unforced errors at this stage of this final as well are almost like forced errors, aren't they? Just by pure definition of the pressure that's on these two players. Misses it wide.
Service over. 15-10.
Great reactions. Too hot to handle for Song Houwei.
16-10.
Grabs at his back there a little after that point. Must have certainly played plenty of matches this week.
We saw yesterday after his semi-final as well, lots of heat tape all over his back. Whether it's precautionary, but judging from that image caught by our cameras, it's perhaps not just precautionary, perhaps there is a little something there.
Service over.
You can see that
11-16.
Tian Houwei also has a black back support brace underneath his t-shirt.
I suppose it's expected to be a rarity that most singles players wouldn't get all the way through to the final without some kind of niggling injury. They just have to learn to cope with it.
Well, the demands on the body, you can see it here. And just what we've seen in this final between these two.
Service over. 17-11.
Been leaping around as well. Houwei up that end. Fabulous little touch.
Service over. 12-17.
Almost just a breath getting it over.
Just using the pace of the shuttle coming to you.
Wide and misses. Tian
Service
Houwei,
over.
who has withstood
12.
the early barrage. He's now running away with this second game. Just long. The idea was right, not the execution on that
Service
occasion.
over. 13-18.
Probably thinking at 18-12, it's worth the risk. Go for the winner.
Service over.
That back.
19-13.
Tian Houwei is certainly trying to just maneuver him around the court a little bit more now as well. Bring him in, turn him around, head him back out, give that body a real workout. And those powerful, cracking smashes haven't been coming from the other end. as Tian Houwei sets up 7 game points
20,
now.
Game point 13.
There it is. 1 game apiece in the final of the men's singles at the Yonex Australian Badminton Open.
13.
Tian Houwei
1
squares
game
it at 1 game apiece. And really the scoreboard on that second, it's comprehensive for Tian Houwei. He's just growing in stature as this men's final in the singles progresses.
Well, we saw him playing against the world #1 Lee Chong-wei yesterday, and that went to 3 games, and we all assumed that he would eventually tire and Lee Chong-wei would win the 3rd game. And he certainly showed us that he is a fit individual and is there to play right to the end. Some great highlights from the 2nd game. Both players really showing their amazing court coverage.
And it hasn't just been at the net either, where Tian Houwei has run away with this one. Just as we started to see Song Shui feel for his back, those incredible leaps in the back court just disappeared out of his game a little bit as well. So I think we can take from that he is starting to certainly feel the strains as he feels again for that lower back. We asked the question, why is Tian Houwei heading back so often and inviting those smashes? Perhaps he knew something we didn't know, and he's letting him just punch himself out here.
Final game. Level. Play.
The final stages of the 2013 Yonex Australian Badminton Open. It's been a fabulous tournament, and it is continuing right to the very end here, where these 2
1 love.
young guns from Team China, both unseeded, who have charged all the way to the final, overcoming every obstacle put in their path by the draw. And here they are, and they continue to exchange blows. It was earlier in the week Song Shui who was grabbing all the headlines. After taking the Australian Junior Open earlier this year here, came through qualifying, defeated the number 15 seed from Japan, Kazumasi Sakai, then the famous Indonesian Taufik Hidayat in the 3rd round quarterfinals, Tian Min Nguyen, then the 12th seed from Indonesia, Alamsyah Yunus, in yesterday's semi-final. But then the biggest headline of all was written by the man up the other end now. That man, Tian Houwei, who yesterday in 3 sets overcame world #1 Lee Chong-wei of Malaysia.
Could that be a career-defining victory? You know, it's an amazing thing to have an opportunity to play the world #1 in a semi-final of a Grand Prix event, but to defeat him and move into the final, be the start of a new rising star for China.
Long. once again from Song Shui.
Service over.
4-1, Tian Houwei leads in
4-1.
this third and final game.
Service over. 2-4.
Just long. Oh, look at that.
One of the points of the final.
Service over. 5-2.
Song Shui was on the ground. Managed to stay in the rally.
Somehow got that one back. Looked like it was well and truly beyond him. Barely the time to react though, as the shuttle flashed past him down the line. And that's a mistake, and you could hear the crowd, the reaction.
6-2.
He's really starting to struggle now. You see him grab at his back after that point.
It's almost a grimace as he looks off to the side as well. Long again.
7-2.
And after the most remarkable week and a brilliant first game in the final, things are just starting to come apart a little bit for Song Shui.
Set up by a beautiful net shot there. Tian, vicious amount of spin on this net shot. Set up, short lift. The shuttle was twisting and turning. Very difficult to get the shuttle to the back of the court.
Still a little bit left in the tank for Song Shui after being the out-and-out aggressor and the more offensive player in that first game. It looked as though the boot has been on the other foot, but there, just a reminder of what he's capable of.
It's rare we see singles players utilising so many jump smashes, but both these players prepared to commit to full jump smash, and then what amazes me is their ability to recover and come forward to the net.
Okay,
Even if they don't hit the winner, they're still in the rally.
Three, 8.
Well, you asked the question. We've seen him leading from the front, but never having to chase. The second game, when he fell 3 or 4 points behind, it quickly became more than that. Oh, what a save.
comes.
That little break has just caught Tian Houwei at the wrong time. He'd opened up an 8-3 lead. Just lands in. He steadies the ship. Tian Houwei
Service over.
maintains that 4-point lead.
5.
Comes again. He's found his second win.
6-9.
Look at the height on the leap as well on the super slow-mo images. Anything you can do, I can do better. From Tian Houwei.
Service over. 10-6.
Leap. And the crack of the whip. Just nothing quite like it in this stadium this week, I don't think. It's been the real highlight. The sheer power, his ability to do it whilst he's 3 feet in the air.
And heading backwards as well that time.
11-6.
Well, after a brief revival
CHN.
from Song Shui, Tian Houwei, after winning the second game and bringing us into a third, leads it 11 points to 6.
Would like to do is come to the Wildlife Sydney Zoo.
I really like to see the kangaroo.
Well, just next to the Sea Life Sydney Aquarium, there's the Wildlife Sydney Zoo as well, right here in Darling Harbour. You can almost see it out the windows of the venue for the Yonex Australian Badminton Open here at the Sydney Convention and Exhibition Centre. Such a fantastic place right in the centre of town for these athletes and spectators to enjoy everything Sydney has to offer.
11-6. Play.
Oh, there's a machine. It's like a heavy artillery gun. It's just pounding away.
6.
Both players showing remarkable defence throughout this match, but it's been that man there with his elevation and his power. It's been the difference.
That's long. And this is where
13-6.
Song Shui just has to try and dig deep. Don't forget, he's defending a very proud record here in Australia, never defeated. He's a real contender on the junior circuit, but I think he's just about ready to step up.
Again, maybe that fatigue is starting to take its toll. The loose forehand there.
It's not so much in his range of
15,
shots, is it, where he's
6.
quite a complete player and very athletic, but we're just seeing it in that mental side of it as well. Tian Houwei, just that little bit more solid. You don't have those little lapses.
Serve is over. 7-15.
It was, to come back to it again, that semi-final performance where after winning the first game, Lee Chongwei took out the second, and it was from that point
Serve is over.
most people were just feeling, well, it's been a good, courageous effort, but now the world #1 will run away with it. He never got clear. And then when he was charging back in that third game, you've had your fun, and now it's over. But no, he stood up again.
Serve is over.
Tian
8-16.
Houwei wasn't reading the script everyone else was reading. It's one of those classic examples where in modern sport where you can never guarantee the outcome of a particular event, and he certainly had it in his mind that the #1 in the world was his priority. He's done that. Now he's well on the way to winning his first title here in Australia.
9-16.
It's a 7-point margin. But the qualifier from China, Song Shui, has to overcome if he's to haul in and overtake the unseeded Chinese player Tian Houwei. And that's a couple of little mistakes there just when he gets within
16.
touching distance.
Serve is over.
He works to make
17,
sure it doesn't
10.
happen again. So quick. A whiplash of a smash there.
And just when you think there's nothing left in the tank, he produces another.
Serve is over. 11-17.
The defense again of Tian Houwei as he edges very close now.
Serve is over. 18-11.
And now we are very close indeed. Tian Houwei has got his opponent down
19,
on the canvas
11.
once again. He is clearly struggling now.
Okay.
Song Shui.
It's been a long week for the young man. Playing all the
That's it.
qualifying events and coming through and cleaning out half the seeds in the tournament.
Doing the hard job.
And not doing it in straight games necessarily either. He's had quite a few 3 games. Certainly a good grounding for him for the future. Build on this effort. athleticism from Tian Houwei, just controlling that rally.
20, match point 11.
From the most improbable of angles, and he brings up 9 match points. Tian Houwei of China preparing to put his name on the trophy.
Service over, 12, 20.
Denied once. This crowd, the convention center, staying till the very end. And there it is. There is a new champion for the Yonex Australian Badminton Open. There is a new name to look out for in the world of badminton. Tian Houwei comes from behind to take, in 1 hour and 7 minutes, Australia's top badminton crown. 20-22, 21-13, 21-12. And in the end, it was comfortable. But that first game was of the highest order before it looks as though Song Hsueh just started to succumb to that back strain. But what a remarkable achievement from this young man. World #1, a pat on the back from his compatriot, and an international Grand Prix gold title in Australia, the last time before it becomes part of the top table of World Badminton, a World Super Series event as of next year. Let's have a look at the highlights.
It's pretty hard to go past the highlights of Tian Houwei. Some of those leaping jump smashes and his incredible net play. Probably two of the mainstays of his game. And this young man, he showed some brilliant control. A real fighting spirit. So many times he used that jump smash. But it was Tian Houwei in the end who was the stronger.
Well, as you can see, the highlights are just a condensed version of what was just about every single point as well. Fantastic exhibition of badminton, and how that for the winning shot from Tian Houwei. A lovely scene as well from his young compatriot.
Ladies and gentlemen, the medal ceremony for the 2013 Yonex Australian Badminton Open men's singles. The medals will be presented by Geraldine Brown, President of Badminton Australia and President of Badminton Oceania. The runners-up of the 2013 Yonex Australian Badminton Open men's singles and silver medalist from China, Hsueh Song.
Well, it's been a remarkable week for him. He has tasted defeat after winning in January the Australian Junior crown, which got him the invite
And
here
the
to qualifying.
winner of the
He's all smiles, though.
2013 Yonex
He's taken it
Australian
very well.
Badminton Open men's singles and gold medalist from China, Tian Houwei.
And Tian Houwei receives his gold medal from Geraldine Brown, President of Badminton Australia and Badminton Oceania. He gets the kangaroo, the gold medal, and the trophy. Not only has he beaten a world #1, he follows another former world #1 in his compatriot and probably one of his great mentors in China, Tian, winner of last year's Yonex Australian Badminton Open. Grand Prix gold next year.